Good morning, everybody, and welcome to this morning's live. This morning, we're going to be talking about how to decorate any blank walls that you have at home, how to hang art, and the right heights. And I'm very lucky to have gallery owner Catherine O'Riordan of So Fine Art Editions joining me this morning. So Catherine's going to be giving us all of her tips and expertise to help you all make sure that those pictures are hung absolutely perfectly. Now, art is such an amazing way to add the finishing touches to your home. I know when we're doing our work, often sometimes even the schemes can come from a painting. Even the artwork behind me here is sort of what's inspired the colour scheme in my own home. So it really is such a wonderful way to make your scheme feel really, really cohesive. So hopefully today we're going to inspire you to work with the pieces that you have, and also we want to talk a little bit about how to go about buying art, because I think a lot of people feel that art is a really expensive investment, and of course it can be, but there are ways to start a collection with much smaller budgets, and it is a fabulous way to invest your money, and especially now it's such a wonderful way to support so many of the amazing artists that we have here in Ireland. So I'm going to invite Catherine now to join me. So we just wait for her to connect. And we've also got some great images. Catherine has shown.
Good morning.
Hi, Catherine. Good
Denise.
morning. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you very much. And I would like to thank you for this opportunity to talk
pleasure.
about artworks, collections, hanging. So you can go ahead and start with your questions.
Fantastic. Well, no, look, it is so fabulous. And thank you for giving up your Saturday morning to share your expertise, because it's something, Catherine, that we get asked about all the time, as you well know. We often lean on your expertise. And I guess I kind of touched on it briefly in the intro, just anybody looking to invest in art. Often people are terrified because they're afraid, they're intimidated by the galleries, they think it's going to be really expensive. But that's not the case. So we'll come to that maybe a little bit. And you've shared some gorgeous pictures, which we'll share with people as well.
Thank you.
But just to start with, I suppose the one big question, and like we got lots of people asking the same questions, was rules of thumb for positioning art, because the biggest mistake that I often see is people hanging things too high. So are there measurements that you can give people to help them?
It's not too difficult. Normally, to avoid hanging too high, you would hang at eye level. That is, the middle of the picture is your midpoint, or should be at your eye level, and that avoids that overhanging too high. So to achieve that, there is a standard midpoint that museums use, and I think it was 61 inches, but now it's about 1.4, 1.5 meters from the floor up. So mark that on your wall with a little pencil mark.
Lovely.
Then you measure the length of your picture and you divide it by 2. So you start at your midpoint and go up that half measurement, or half the length of your picture. Mark the top. Then it's good to have someone with you actually as well. And they can hold the picture up where the top should be, where you've marked. And you can stand back and look and say, yes, that's a good height. So you can go a little bit above or a little bit below, but then adjust your midpoint accordingly. Also, this is very important when you're hanging works of different sizes. So by establishing a midpoint, you're in fact centering each piece to each other. So it looks quite professional, as like you see it in a gallery. And you're not matching, say, the top of a frame with the top of the next frame or the bottom. So you're centering each piece. And that's basically how you go about positioning.
Brilliant. So that's a great tip, actually, that they run along the center line, because people might be inclined to line up the tops of the frames. And
well, they don't know what to position the next one. Once they've hung one, they go, well, where do I go from here? By establishing that midpoint, they know exactly where they're going.
No, that's really good. Okay, really brilliant. And Catherine, one of the questions we got from somebody was they're looking to buy something, but they just don't know what size. So how to go about picking the size?
Well, good thing is take a photograph of the room, measure your wall, And then, take your time. Don't rush. Oh, I have to have a picture on the wall.
Yeah.
Go to your galleries or whatever, and you can cut. Actually, a good way is to cut a sheet of brown paper or newspaper and pin it on the wall to get an
Right.
idea of what size you like,
Okay,
and
that's
that
a
will give you a
great
rough
tip.
idea. And also
Yeah.
framing, take into account framing. It would add on maybe 10 to 15 centimeters all
Mm-hmm.
round.
Mm-hmm.
So, from that point of view, that's what you would do.
Yeah, the brown paper is a great tip. I mean, we'd often give that to people for furniture, just to see how pieces would
Oh,
work
I
in the
see.
space.
Yeah,
Yeah, but
yeah,
that's a brilliant tip actually, because then you could really see what the impact is going to be like. And
exactly. And if you
yeah,
need another
yeah,
piece, or, I mean, sometimes hanging a big piece and a small piece beside it sometimes can work.
yeah,
But as I
sure.
say,
Yeah.
the paper works. That you can try that at home.
That's a brilliant tip. Brilliant. Okay, amazing. And then another one is like people might have lots and lots of artworks that they have stacked away and they're just, meaning to hang them up, but they're reluctant because the frames don't all match. Is
Okay.
that a thing?
Not
Can it work?
necessarily. Again, it can make a wall stand out if you're
Hmm.
putting different frames together, make it look more interesting. A
Yeah.
good rule of thumb is, so to make sure they're not screaming at each other, is lay them against a wall and
Hmm.
put them beside each other and mix them around. I keep saying this, take your time.
Yeah.
And you could walk away, come back, maybe swap them around again, or lay them all on the floor. Sometimes it's good, and you can look down and you can say, no, well, that one doesn't work with that. Or you
Hmm.
could try, working a similar color. If you have a few pieces that might have different frames, but there's a common theme of color or subject matter, will also
Mm.
work.
Oh,
Again,
great. Yeah.
dark frames together, maybe.
Mm.
Again, trust your taste, trust your judgment.
Brilliant. So yeah, you can kind of, even if you have different frames, as long as the colors of the artworks, that can be your unifying thing that pulls
Yeah,
them all together. Yeah.
exactly, exactly.
Okay, fabulous. Yeah, no, brilliant. And then a massive question we're getting, and I think a lot of people were creating these at home over all this time that we've been spending at home, are gallery walls. And
Okay.
tips about doing that, because I know like I'd be pretty impatient, so I'd be quite inclined to just go hammering nails in. But I know you've fabulous tips for making it
Yeah.
look really, really well.
Well, really, where you're putting your gallery wall is important, I think.
Hmm.
A
Hmm.
gallery wall or a salon wall takes up practically the full wall. So
Mm.
you're not going to use a large wall, say in your sitting room or dining room, where you might want a focal piece. So
Hmm.
that, to me, that's what I'd advise. I would take
Mm.
a stairwell or a nice alcove and, make an interesting wall, because you're creating a whole wall, remember.
Yeah, yeah.
Then what you do again, you can lay everything on the floor.
Hmm.
Um, Start with one dominant piece and then radiate out from that.
Okay.
And you don't have to be particular about spaces in between. They can be less or more. Again, working on the floor is great.
Hmm.
Keep working on it, lay it out, take a
Mm.
photograph with your phone so you can remember what pieces went where.
Hmm.
Again, you can cut out the sizes of the pieces and lay them on the floor as well if you want
Yeah.
exact measurements.
Hmm.
The important thing is, once you have your final composition,
Mm.
measure it, the length and the width, and then you can get a large sheet of paper and put that on your wall to make sure, does it all fit? Do I need less? Do I
Fabulous.
need
Okay.
more? Because you
Great.
can, or else draw a picture of it on a piece of
Yeah.
paper,
Yeah.
each square representing a picture. So
Hmm.
you can get a feel for how it's going to look before putting a nail in the wall.
Brilliant. So you're literally treating the whole composition as one big piece.
Yes,
Yeah. Yeah.
exactly,
Okay.
exactly.
No,
And
that
that's the trick. And you can reduce, you can
great.
take away, or you can add to it and take your
Yeah.
time with it,
Yeah.
and
Yeah. Yeah.
photograph each one. So you can say, oh no, I prefer the first composition as opposed
Lovely.
to the
Yeah.
second.
Yeah. Gina, sounds like a great little project for someone to take on, actually, and a
It
wonderful
is,
way, yeah, to
you
use those
know,
little ones that you mightn't know what to
exactly.
do
And
with.
it
Yeah.
is, I agree, it is for
Yeah.
small pieces, grouping
Yeah.
small pieces together.
Yeah.
And you can
Yeah.
involve the family as well. You can say, well,
Yeah.
what do you like? And I
Yeah.
think
Yeah.
that's a nice sort of joint effort activity.
Gorgeous. Well, I actually did something years ago when my eldest, he was, oh my God, he was producing artwork like you wouldn't believe. And the kid, like he loved them. He wanted to stick everything on the wall.
Of
So that's
course.
what we did. We got a load
Yeah,
of IKEA
class.
frames and covered his walls as a little gallery wall.
Well,
And we used
yeah,
to swap them round then. So it was
fab.
great. It was
Yeah,
really,
it's a
really
great
fun. Yeah,
idea.
it was lovely. Really
Excellent
lovely.
idea. Really good.
Brilliant. And then family photos, Catherine, because I know like we come up against this all the time. People have so many of them,
Of course they
and
do.
how to display them, and they are so beautiful and so many
Yeah,
memories and things, but
absolutely.
they
Absolutely.
they're not going to work in every single space. So would you have
No.
any advice for that?
Well, again, make a salon wall is really nice.
Yeah.
Again, you don't want to overdo it either because you want your artwork as well. But if you have
Mm-hmm.
interesting photos, it's always good to when you're looking at anything, you're looking. Remember,
Mm-hmm.
so it's nice to mix it up
Mm.
and get some interesting shots in there. Again, as I said, don't overdo it. You can also, in bookshelves, it's great to put one or two photographs among books. I think looks really
Lovely.
nice.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah. Yeah.
um, basically, yeah, just pick your favorite ones and show them.
Great. And I guess you can rotate them as
Yeah,
well. You could,
exactly,
yeah, play
exactly.
around with them.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
precisely.
No, that's
Because I mean, people are changing and it's different occasions, etc.
great, brilliant. And what I might do, Catherine, because I have a few images just of stuff we've done, but it might be helpful for people
Yes, of course.
just to see. So, like over the bed, I suppose you can see here
Yeah,
again, because I know
nicely.
you have some dimensions. So it's similar with over a sofa and stuff. So,
Yeah, I mean, you've sort of hung it off center, which looks kind of interesting, I think. You don't
mhm,
always have to center a piece, say to the bedstead or over the couch. You can go
yes,
slightly off center and it kind of gives a
yeah,
different angle and it makes it more interesting.
hmm,
If you're doing a piece over your couch, just make sure that when somebody sits back, that your head isn't touching the artwork you
yes,
know,
yeah, 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 yeah,
practical things like that. If
yeah,
another thing, if you're hanging any artworks, any paintings, say in a kitchen, or any works, make sure they're framed, because a painting can gather, say, steam or from cooking. It can damage the first, the top layer of a painting. So my advice is make sure you frame everything in a kitchen or where you're cooking.
okay,
Um,
yeah, yeah,
a hallway is great. When you walk in, impact, the top of the stairs is interesting. But you can, as I say, trust your own taste and take your time. You
hmm,
know, um, I don't know whether you're going to mention, and people are sort of trying to put, it's daunting when they have a lot of works and where do I put them?
yes, yeah,
Is I really think you really need to take your time, pick one room
yeah,
and just do that room.
hmm,
And before you hang anything, lay it against the wall, lay a few pieces beside each other, what you think works, and leave it and come back and then swap them around. Walk away,
brilliant,
come
yeah,
back, swap
yeah,
again. It
yeah,
could take you a
yeah,
few days, it doesn't matter.
yeah,
Go trust your judgment, but
sure.
do take your time.
Yeah, no, 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 it's great advice. And I mean, especially if they are, if you're investing in pieces,
Yes,
this is something that you want to be able to live with for a long time. So yeah, you want to make sure that you're doing the right thing.
exactly. And also, if you
Yeah,
make a mistake, so what? It's only a little hole. You can fill it and repaint
or
it. And
swap
usually,
something
the
around.
artwork will cover your mistake anyway. So
Exactly.
don't freak out. It's fine, definitely.
Brilliant. Yeah, no, great. And I kind of showed this image here just because this really did lead to the entire color scheme of this kitchen. So it
Oh,
was, they can be a great starting point for people as well, if they're
absolutely. Oh no, it
struggling.
definitely, yeah, it complements. It's as important as your furniture. Definitely,
Definitely. Yeah.
because the artwork works on your emotions, on your
Mm-hmm.
moods, on your feel good factors. So,
Mm-hmm.
for instance, I
Mm-hmm.
hang my favorite pieces in my bedroom because I wake up every day. It puts me in good mood. So things like that. It's more than just as I say, a picture. It works with you.
Yeah, no, no, that's great. And I think you're dead right. They should be in places, your favorite pieces should be in
Yes,
places where you're going to see them.
exactly.
Rather than putting the good stuff in a room that you don't go into, like the good
Exactly,
room. Like
exactly.
that's not really what you want to do.
No,
So
no, you need to
yeah,
enjoy it. You definitely
yeah,
do.
definitely. And then I know there'll be a lot of people, maybe people who are renting and things. Now this is something that we did, but they were sort of nervous about hanging, so they wanted to play around with a few bits and pieces. So we literally
Yeah,
just propped this up.
perfect.
Um, But
Yeah,
it's another way that you can kind of do it
exactly.
without having to hammer nails in and just
Yeah,
live with it for a while and
that's,
see.
yeah, yes, I agree. Like bookshelves out there, I was going to suggest that, mantelpieces. Also, if you have a very large piece, you can just lean it against the wall, say in a bedroom. Look
Lovely,
quite nice,
exactly.
you know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah.
I know 3M do some hanging things that don't damage walls as well. So that's, or a picture rail, but a picture rail you have to install as well. So I'm not too sure about that. But
Yes, yeah.
yeah, so
Brilliant. That's great. And then this here, just an example of propping them up on a shelf like you were talking about
yes,
before.
yes,
No,
that looks really good. Yeah,
yeah,
definitely.
that's
Or a
gorgeous.
sideboard. If you have something to sort of hold it at the back, you can just sit it on a sideboard.
Fantastic. Yeah,
Mm.
brilliant. So, Catherine, I'm looking for these images here, but for some reason they're not coming up in my feed, the beautiful ones that you sent me.
Oh, yes.
Some of that. So I'll just try and see if I can find them here. I might just I'll
Okay.
pull them up on this maybe if I can't, and I'll see if I can show people. Because yeah, we wanted to talk a little bit just about buying art, and I
Yeah.
think it is fascinating. Do you want to talk a little bit about that, how it can be so
Yeah.
affordable?
Well, basically, first of all, you're starting off. You say, oh, where do I go? What do I do? My advice, I think, is go to museums. I mean, we're very lucky in Ireland. All our
Yeah.
national museums are free.
Yes.
Hugh
Yeah.
Lane, Chester
Yeah. Yeah.
Beatty, IMA, National Gallery. And then, to get a feel for what kind of art you like, you can go online and find out who's showing. Don't be intimidated, just enjoy it. Just say to yourself, I'm going to have a nice time, go with a friend. Then Google art galleries in Dublin. And art galleries are friendly places, actually. They're not intimidating, they shouldn't
Yeah.
be.
Yeah.
You can browse, you can ask questions, join their mailing lists, very important. Get on,
Great.
so you can actually, if you like a certain type of art, you can actually maybe meet the artist on the opening night, ask
Wow.
questions. I mean,
Yeah.
make it an enjoyable experience in a good
Fabulous.
environment. And
Yeah.
galleries are there, that's their expertise. They should answer all your questions, and as I say, don't be afraid to ask. Look online, look at all the websites, find out what kind of art you like, whether you like figurative or abstract or colourful or muted or seascapes, landscapes. There's so much to choose from. But go with your gut. Literally go with your instinct. What makes you feel good? What you don't have to explain in words why you like a piece of art. But it's good to say why you don't like it as well. I mean, you have taste like everyone else. There's a famous saying by Joan Miro where he said, you could look at a piece of art for a week and it's gone, you've forgotten about it. Yet you could look at a piece of art for a second and think of it all of your life. So
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
it's really what's working with you, I think. And, my advice is to enjoy, find out what you like. Start with a good way is emerging artists. You can acquire paintings from emerging artists at affordable prices. You can also, original fine art prints are a great way to start. You
Great.
can
Yeah.
get well-known Irish painters. They make original fine art prints with the master printer. These are not reproductions of their paintings. These are
Okay.
original artworks in their own right, hand editioned on handmade paper, and they are in a limited edition. But the image you're buying is an original image, so that's important, not to be confused with reproductions.
Okay.
Photographs also. Photography is becoming more and more popular, and it is, highly regarded as an art form. What else? Unique works on paper are also more affordable, say, than paintings. So there's lots of different ways of collecting. But, as they say, buy what you love. Everyone says that. But also make sure you're getting value for money. That's my advice.
Okay. And like some of these prints, Catherine, like they start from what? What would people
You can
expect?
buy an original print from as low as €80.
My goodness. Okay.
Yes.
Amazing. That's absolutely
And
amazing.
yeah,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
again, the gallery will tell you all the different mediums, from etchings to lithographs to woodcuts, lino cuts, and then you get a monotype or monoprint, which is they just make one on the press. So you've plenty, and also each print medium gives you a different result. So a lithograph or a screen print will be more painterly, say, than an etching. An etching is very graphic. It's quite figurative. You can see the lines etched into a copper plate, as opposed to creating a lithograph with a waxy crayon or a monotype where you're literally painting on the plate or a carborundum. But again, you know, go in, look and enjoy.
Fabulous. Well, look, I'm going to see. Hopefully this works. This is a beautiful one that you've sent me from Mary O'Connor. I don't know if can people see that. So it's really vibrant, colourful. Yeah, her works are just beautiful. And like I really love following her on Instagram. She's just fantastic. I have some pieces I'm lucky enough to see in my hall, and they literally do that. They just bring me joy every time I walk past them. You know, and I think that's another one. Oh no, sorry, it's not.
And Mary's having a show with us later in the year. Unfortunately, I had to postpone all our shows, but I'm not cancelling them. And that's a screen print. The first one was an oil on canvas. So Mary paints as well as makes prints, and you'll find that with some artists. So that's a lovely, so that'll be on show in our forthcoming exhibition later in the year. Keep an eye on our website and we'll be posting dates, etc.
Amazing. And then you sent me some of these, which are again really beautiful.
Stunning. They're Tom Phelan.
Tom Phelan
is an Irish artist. He's also a master printer. But these are paintings, very beautiful paintings. And he was our first show that we had to postpone. So he'll be our first exhibition of this year. So we're really looking forward to that. And that's an oil on canvas.
Fabulous.
Yeah, really nice.
No, amazing. And so the artists are at these shows and things, and you can actually meet with them. Yeah, that's amazing.
And what I do, when at an opening event, I always introduce the artist to people who come to the opening night. You know, they enjoy chatting and talking about the artwork, and it takes that stigma out of it. You know, it's just an enjoyable experience, especially if you're, you know, somebody just starting off, you know, to make it kind of relaxed and, you know, meet other people, bring a friend, always bring some people, because that makes it more interesting and enjoyable.
Yeah, well, it's a lovely way to spend an evening, and absolutely get to learn new things. And as you say, the galleries, they are beautiful places just to browse and spend a bit of time.
Absolutely.
Just amazing things being done at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, somebody can come in on their lunch break, you know, it's nice and quiet, looking at some art. It's good it really feeds the soul. Brilliant. So look, are you open again, Catherine? Yes, we are, as they brought forward the phase for shopping centres. We're in Paris Court on the second floor, and they have it well organised. The centre is open for Monday, but I'm just waiting for a screen, so I will open on Wednesday. Now, the times are reduced from 11 in the morning till 5. That's the Paris Court opening hours, and they won't be open on Sunday. So from 11 to 5 from next Wednesday.
Fantastic. Well, listen, thank you so much this morning
for
your fabulous tips. Absolutely. And look forward to seeing you soon. Thanks so much. Bye, everybody. Thank you.
Bye.